अस्सलाम वालेकुम guys. I hope you guys are doing great और पेपर की तैयारी अच्छी चल रही होगी. So today, as you know, the time is too short and we just have like around 48 hours or so. So let's have a quick look at the marking pattern of AS Business 9609, paper 12, section A. So as you know, we guys have already discussed regarding the time allocation and all that, and I hope so that you guys have benefited from my previous video as well, where I told you how to prepare in the last 6 days. So now finally let's have a look at the marks split up right now. So if we can look at the marks split up right now. Okay, paper 12, paper 12. Now in paper 12, definitely we are having two sections, section A and section B. So section A, as you know, it belongs to the short answer questions. So in section A, we have basically 2 marks, 3 marker and a 5 marker. As far as the 2 marker is concerned, the 2 marker, for 2 marker, you have to apply two pieces of knowledge, or then you can say that one assessment objective. मतलब आपका जो ओवरऑल यहाँ पे चल रहा है, आपके 4 असेसमेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं, as you know, knowledge, application, analysis and evaluation. So as far as the 2 marker is concerned, for 2 marks you just have to apply one assessment objective, that is knowledge. So as I have already told you and we have discussed it so many times in the class, knowledge जब आप यूज करेंगे तो definitely you have to write 2 pieces of knowledge, that is K1 and K2. Most of the students जितने भी हैं, आप सबको पता है, when I say K1, K2, that means 2 different pieces of knowledge or understanding. That could be definition or understanding in terms of a definition. You're not supposed to cram the definition, right? And you guys have already been provided with a glossary of definitions. So if it's a 2 marker question, you just have to apply one assessment objective, and that is knowledge. If it's a 3 marker question, for 3 marker question, definitely now you have to apply 2 assessment objectives. The first one would be knowledge and the second one would be application. So knowledge 1 mark, application 2 marks. Then if it's a 5 marker question, for 5 marks, definitely now you have to apply 3 pieces of assessment objectives. Previously, in the previous papers prior 2023, up till 2022, the marking pattern was different. But now from 2023 onwards, now we have 3 assessment objectives in the 5 marker. That is, if it's a 5 marker question, for knowledge, you have to write 1 mark, then application contains 2 marks, then analysis contain 2 marks. So that is how the marks have been split up in section A. So in section A, overall, if you see, we have to use only 3 assessment objectives, that is knowledge, application and analysis. And we have already spoken a lot in my previous videos and in classes definitely about what to write in knowledge, application, analysis. But today I'm going to give you a brief intro or a brief description about all these. And we are going to see actually a 12 marker question. I'll give you a demo answer for that matter. Moving on towards section B, if we move on to section B contains definitely 20 marks. And for 20 marks, you have to write 2 questions, that is like either 8 marker and 12 marker. Like previously in the previous papers, you can witness 20 marker question as well. But now, as I told you, the pattern in the syllabus has changed a bit since 2023 onwards. So now you know you don't have to write for 20 marks. You just have to write 8 and 12 marker question. So if you move on to the 8 and 12 marker question, definitely you have to write only one question, that is like question number 5 or 6, and that contains 2 parts, A and B. So as long as section B is concerned, if I speak about the 8 marker question, 8 marker contains 3 assessment objectives. As we have already discussed, knowledge, application and analysis. Knowledge contains 2 marks, application contains 2 marks and analysis further contains 4 marks. So this is basically the marks split up for an 8 mark question. Now, as far as the knowledge is concerned, knowledge. By knowledge, I mean definition or understanding. Understanding in your own words. I'm repeating again, you don't have to cram the definitions. Okay? Then, if you look at the application, now here is the key. Usually, in 8 marker, they don't give you any specific scenario. While in 12 marker, we do have a scenario, but in 8 marker, we don't have any scenario. So here you are totally allowed to quote any example, any real life example. For example, as I have already written यहाँ पे 2 marks application, any relevant real life example. It could be any real life gigantic companies like Toyota, Honda, etc., etc. So this is actually, you have to use your own example in this 8 marker. Then moving on to the 4 marks analysis. 4 marks analysis, definitely showing the impact. So analysis is basically the impact of your overall knowledge, understanding, and the impact definitely could be positive as well as negative. Now here is a short tip, a quick tip rather. If the question says, discuss the view means that you have to write both the positive sides and the negative sides. If the question says, discuss whether अगर ये word आपके पास आ जाए, whether would also mean you have to write both the sides, positive and negative. If the question says, discuss the usefulness would particularly mean that you're going to write the usefulness only. While in the evaluation side, we can write some of the disadvantages as well. So again, those who have practiced with me in the previous classes, they'll be having a better idea of what I'm saying right now. Because here in this short video, definitely, as you know, the time is too short and we have to go in a quick bit. So if you ideally talk about the number of the paragraphs which we should write for an 8-marker question, that ideally contains 3 paragraphs. The first para would be of knowledge. As you know, again, knowledge contains 2 marks. So here comes the 2 marks of the knowledge. If you move on to paragraph 2 जो है हमारे पास वहाँ पे application for 1 mark and analysis for 2 marks. That contains 3 marks in this paragraph. If you move on to paragraph 3, again application and again analysis. So moral of the story is, if you look at the pattern overall, we are doing application and analysis at the same time. This is a top tip. Application and analysis should always go side by side. You cannot do this, that you can write evaluation or application in a separate part and analysis in a separate part. No, I'm telling you again and again, and I have already spoken so many times previously in the classes and online classes and overall, that application and analysis must go side by side. That will avoid the confusion in the minds of an examiner as well as your own thoughts. So application and analysis, they should go side by side. So this is ideal situation. This is the ideal way of writing an 8-marker question. You have to write at least 3 paragraphs. And definitely, if you're going to remember the marks, you can never lose your content. How do you forgot your marks? Definitely you're going to lose your whole context and content as well. So आपके लिए जो यहाँ पे की आपके लिए ये है कि आपने marks यहाँ पे भूलना नहीं है, ठीक है? Moving on to the next 12-marker question. If you look at the 12-marker question, section B, definitely 12 marks. Now in this final 12-marker question, we have to experience, or we have to face 4 assessment objectives. The breakup of the 12-marker is, for knowledge, you have to write 2 marks, application 2 marks, analysis 2 marks, and here comes the final gigantic thing, that is evaluation. This is the most crucial part. Majority of the students, they suffer in evaluation. Majority of the students. Now, as I have told you in the previous lectures, evaluation is basically dependent on analysis. Analysis is dependent on application, and definitely application is dependent on knowledge. So those guys who are saying कि sir, हमने application नहीं की, our application is weak, but we have made a strong analysis and we have made a strong evaluation. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. Because as I told you, this application would act as a pillar. This would act as a pillar. This would act as a pillar, and this is going to support the analysis. So if your application is weak, definitely your analysis is going to be weak as well. And definitely if your application is weak, ultimately the analysis would be weak, and hence the evaluation will also be a bit weaker. So although application contains just 2 marks, but do not ignore this application, because this 2 marker is going to impact your analysis as well as evaluation. So 12-marker question, again, you have to remember, you have to memorize the split up: 2 marks knowledge, 2 marks application, 2 marks analysis, and 6 marks for evaluation. Again, here in the 12-marker question, definitely we will be provided with a context. For example, we'll be provided with a, say, restaurant or a car manufacturer example. So definitely you have to talk in context of a restaurant or a car manufacturer. Then analysis, definitely showing the impact, and finally moving on to the evaluation in a quick go, because now afterwards we're going to see a demo answer as well. So evaluation 6 marks for evaluation, 6 marks. In 6 marks में बेटा हमारे पास जो key है, the key is that first of all you have to write your opinion. Afterwards, writing your opinion, you have to justify your opinion, as we already speak about it, justification. After justification, definitely you have to show the dependency of that justification. Now, what I mean by dependency, you're going to see in my model answer right now. And then other side of the coin. So this is basically the template. This is the template of writing an evaluation paragraph for 6 marker. So definitely better you have to memorize this. Agar aapko ye memorize nahi hota to definitely you're going to lose marks for that matter. So firstly, you have to keep in mind the pattern of the marks split up, and the number of assessment objectives used for a 2 marker, 3 marker, 5 marker, 8 marker, and 12 marker. Now let's move on to a demo question. Let's move on to a demo question. Here we can see that I've already marked this question for you guys. Let's mark it again. Let's mark it once again. Okay. So question says, discuss the importance of to a hotel of having an effective inventory control. I'm repeating the question again. Discuss the importance to a hotel of having an effective inventory control. Now, first advice, read the question at least thrice. Let's read it again for the third time. Discuss the importance to a hotel of having an effective inventory control. Now, the whole answer should be in the context of a hotel. Hotel, but not only hotel. Hotel in the context of an effective inventory control. You have to manage inventory. You have to take care of the inventory thing as well. So, definitely, as you can see, I have already marked it for you. The first paragraph would be of knowledge. It contains knowledge. Let's have a quick read at the answer. Inventory control is ensuring and managing the right amount of the stock, that is raw material, work in progress, and finished good, is available at the right time without any wastage to prevent halts in the service industry, such as hotels, and optimize sales and avoid delays in the customer delivery time. So this is a full-fledged, a power-packed definition. So definition हमने यहाँ पे लिख ली. We are already done with definition, and now we have gained 2 marks here for the definition for that matter. So now I have explained effective inventory control in terms of a hotel. Now I have to connect it to the hotel industry. Now I have to talk in context of a hotel. So let's move on to some of the basic things. For example, application, then analysis. Here I have written the COA. COA means chains of analysis. Usually, the chains of analysis can be interpreted by different names in different case study. At times, the marking keywords say developed analysis. At times, the marking keywords say further analysis. At times, the marking keywords say chains of analysis. But my preferred word is chains of analysis. So let's have a look at it. Now, firstly, we have to talk in context of a hotel industry. So a hotel must have adequate amounts of the different items such as the cleaning materials. This is so that the rooms can quickly be sanitized after the guests check out, and so it can be made ready for the other guests. If inventory is short, room cleaning won't be quick, increasing the waiting times and could harm the reputation as a hotel customers. Comfort is very important. This could further translate into the bad word of mouth and a negative online reviews. अब यहाँ पे बेटा आप लोग एक की देखें यहाँ पे. Again, we have to use such words like this will lead to, this will lead to, because of this, hence, thus, therefore. So this is basically connecting or making chains of analysis. As you can see, this could further translate. I have already highlighted this in blue color. So this could further translate means it's a further chains of analysis. So right now I'm talking in context. Definitely we have to use such words such as the cleaning materials or the room services. Why? Because the whole question belongs to the hotel and we have to go in depth. We have to go in depth of any business which is given to us, had it been a car manufacturer or if it's like steel industry, railway industry, whatever it is, you have to go in context of that particular industry, that particular business. That is very important. Moving on to the next one. Again, application. Other than this, stocks of the food items, cutlery, towels, and bathroom materials such as the shampoo, soaps, and other toiletries is also important. A lack of them would reduce the quality of the stay, and especially hotels marked as luxurious. A lack of them. So now from here onwards, definitely we are doing what? We are doing analysis. We are doing analysis. Further chains of analysis. This would take away from the expensive atmosphere. This loss is comparative advantage. This loss in comparative advantage would lead to the competitors gaining attraction and potentially reduces the market share. This is again a further chains of analysis. Moving onwards. Furthermore, very high inventory levels are also harmful. If the hotel's kitchen has excess stock of food, there is a chance of it going bad without the management realizing. If the potentially rotten or expired food is given to the customers through room service, it endangers their health and legal actions could also be taken. Again, chains of analysis. resulting in revocation of the hotel's license, again a further chains of analysis, resulting in a lost sales, further chains of analysis, and liquidation if the problem is severe. Now here comes the question. So how many chains of analysis are we supposed to write? The ideal strategy or the best way is to write not more than two chains of analysis. That is like analysis, then two chains of analysis. This is more than enough for you guys right now. So here you can see application supported by analysis. Throughout, we are going side by side, application and then analysis, then application, then analysis. So we have consumed or we have gained all the 6 marks available right now. Knowledge is done. We are done with application as well. We are done with analysis as well. Now moving on to evaluation. Now here I have highlighted 3 or 4 basic words. Pardon me for that. Here I have highlighted 4 basic words. While writing on the evaluation, you have to write the conclusive statement at the beginning. Your conclusive statement could have or could be by the words overall, and you can also say overall in my opinion, or in my opinion I think that. So you have to use such kind of words in order to make it a clear difference, or you can in a clarity with the words that the examiner comes to know what is your final conclusion. So conclusion should be with the words overall, in my opinion, or I think that. So overall, managing inventory levels is crucial for the success of an industry such as hotels. Now I have to give justification. I have to give reasons why. Why is it important? That should be a reasoned argument. And do remember, this reasoned argument could come from the strongest point in your analysis. Whatever analysis you have taken above or done above, that could be one of the strongest point of those analysis. You have to rephrase it, or you can write a totally different point in order to support your opinion, what you have said here. So, because it's a tertiary sector and involves a direct supply of inventory to the customers, furthermore, adaptability to the customer's need is very important. Any delays in the supply could lead to a lesser customer satisfaction, which could lead to a bad word of mouth, ultimately damaging the hotel's image in the public. This could also lead to losing out the potential customers in the long run. This could be avoided by training employees through enterprise resource planning so that the resources and the stocks are ordered in time. Use of the accurate sales forecast is also necessary and could be used to plan and keep the right amount of the towels and toothbrushes, etc., etc. So here, frankly speaking, the student has a bit extended from of the justification. You can like just remove the last sentence or the last 1 or 2 sentences. Rest, you should follow this pattern, or you have to follow this pattern. So firstly, I'm done with opinion by starting off with overall. Then the opinion should be supported by justification. Then I wrote because for that matter. And then ultimately, the dependency of my opinion. Now I have to show the dependency. Like here in the opinion, I've already said, yes, inventory management is important, but it depends on certain things. What? However, this depends on the amount of the budget kept for the sufficient inventory and working capital available. देखिए, हम ऑलरेडी कह रहे हैं कि जी इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट इफेक्टिव है तो अच्छी बात है, होनी चाहिए इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट. बट ये इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट कुछ चीज़ों पे डिपेंडेंट होगी ना. किन चीज़ों पे डिपेंडेंट होगी? ये इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट इन चीज़ों पे डिपेंडेंट होगी कि अगर होटल के पास सफिशिएंट बजट अवेलेबल है, अगर उन्होंने सेल्स फोरकास्टिंग प्रॉपर्ली की है, तो हमें वो डिपेंडेंसी शो करनी है. सो लेट्स हैव अ क्विक रीड. हाउएवर, दिस डिपेंड्स ऑन द अमाउंट ऑफ द बजट kept for the sufficient inventory and working capital available to have sufficient levels of inventory. It also depends on the sales forecast from the sales department, showing the rate of expected room occupancy to which the inventory levels are directly connected. Again, to show the expected rate of room occupancy by reading out throughout the answer, not even 1% have I deviated from the context. Again, I'm talking in context of a hotel room occupancy. Even in the dependency aspect or the dependency side of the evaluation, I'm using the word the hotel or the room occupancy. That is what the examiner exactly requires from you. Then moving on the other side. Now, this is the final bit of the evaluation. The very last 2 marks or the final 2 marks to gain in the evaluation side. Do you really think so that if you manage the inventory effectively and control it efficiently, it's going to boom your business or it's going to grab a high market share for your business or for your hotel? Not at all. There are some other factors as well on which this is dependent. For example, if you look at this, on the other side, even if the inventory levels are held adequately in the short run, other factors such as the quality of the service provided by the hotels, its location, its pricing strategies are also very crucial in the long run to reach out to maximize the market share. Just because the amount of food, cutlery, towels and sanitary products is enough will not make the customers happy. If the customer service and these other factors are lacking, therefore, to ensure a happy customer base, inventory management must be linked in with other success indicators, and on its own is not enough to completely capture the market. So, moral of the story is, lastly, in the last part of the evaluation, I have shown the other side of the coin, a completely different picture. That, however, no matter how much care do you take in controlling your inventory in the business, if you use ERP system or manage it very effectively, but unless and until you focus or emphasize on other factors as well, such as the quality, such as the customer service, such as the location of the hotel, such as the pricing strategies of the hotel, you cannot succeed in this particular industry. So this is just the other side of the coin. So moving again, evaluation comes from three different aspects. Firstly, your opinion, followed by a justification, followed by the dependency along with the other side of the coin. So this is a complete template. This is a complete template for the 12 market question. Do let me know if you have any further queries or comments. And inshallah, be ready. We are going to have more videos for the 2 marker, 3 marker, 5 marker, and 8 marker. Hopefully by tomorrow, inshallah. Take a good care, guys. Best of luck.